Good morning. Today we're doing another triple shot. Yep, filming 3 videos all at the same time. First video is the breakdown of Jig 2. The second video is the breakdown of the cadences I play in my videos. And the third one, the one you clicked on, is how to do the split screen drumline. And I am so prepared to do all these videos. Like, I even brought 3 different shirts. Custom shirts, link is in the description. These videos are gonna get posted kind of spread apart from each other because I need the time to edit it. And I don't want you guys to think I'm some kind of chump that only has one shirt. So, changing shirts as we do this. Okay, so the first one I'm gonna record the split screen for is the Jig 2 cadence. And for this one, I'm gonna go with a 4x2. Yeah, and what I mean by that is I'm gonna record the front row, which is gonna be a snare, 2 tenors, and cymbals, just because there's like a little tenor solo in there and I want there to be 2 of them. And then in the back row, we're gonna set up 4 bass drums. I'm gonna do that after I do these 4 parts. And I like the way that looks because if you have a lot of different screens, then you have to kind of squish everything together and it looks kind of tiny. So we want to make sure that it looks nice and pleasant. And I also want to put the sheet music at the bottom below the 2 separate split screens of 4 split screens. So there's a lot of thought put into it, but this is exactly what I did for the Arms of a Chicken, the hardest ballad of 2019. And I like the way that one looked. So we're gonna try doing that again for these videos. So all right, this is the room we have to work with, and I like facing this way because you got the curtains and the field drums, and that's a really cool looking background. I like that. And we got our recording device here, Blue Snowball microphone playing into GarageBand, and also the Blue Snowball is set to setting number 2 on the back there. I don't know if you can see. Let's get the full, yeah. That's the one that it takes off 10 decibels to the sound automatically. And these instruments are loud as heck. So, need it to sound good and not clip out. And then over here we have our t-shirts. Because remember, I'm changing shirts for every single one of these different frames that I'm doing. So we gotta keep track of what t-shirt we're. Am I wearing the right t-shirt? Yeah, we got Energizer Bunnies for the freaking how-to video. All right, I hope I don't screw it up, but here we go. Okay, so now I'm gonna put this onto the stand, and I also use my fancy Apple Watch that's recording the screen on my phone, because when I put this in here, then I can't really see the screen that well because it's blocked. So, okay, then I'm just gonna stand where the cymbal player, which is me, I'm doing everything. I'm gonna stand where the cymbal player is gonna be, and it looks like we're a good distance away from the tenors. I shouldn't go into the other screen, so that's good, because that's probably one of the most important parts of doing these kind of videos is you're kind of in like a little box that is going to get clipped out and edited, so you don't want to really cross over into the other screen if you don't have to, because that takes more editing to fix all that. So stay in the box, and also make sure that the phone here stays completely still the whole time, because even if this happens, that screws everything up, like completely, and you have to redo everything. So we got to keep this exactly where I want it. I actually shouldn't have done that, because now I have to make sure this is in the right spot again. And a few other things I almost forgot about, but these are like the most important ones. So I have to play along with a click, which is going to be in my headphones, which that's actually on my phone, which is also my camera. So I have the metronome app on my watch right there. That is, Hi, watch. Huh. It doesn't like me, I guess. That was weird. So there's my freaking click. That's not the right tempo. Let's get that at the correct tempo. There we go. 152 is the first thing we're going to do. Because, remember, the phone's going to be stationary there, and I don't want to touch the phone whatsoever, because then that might screw up the recording for this, and then I'll have to redo the whole thing, so I don't want to do all that. And so I wrote the tempos down huge so I don't forget. And this freaking thing, it's like 10 pages long for no reason. Font is like gigantic, so that's kind of a pain in the butt. I'm gonna have to figure out how to read this. By the way, for just about all of these clone, drumline, split screen things I do, I read the music, because no one's got the time to memorize all those beats, right? I just put it on the stand right in front of me, and usually I try to edit out the stands. But I mean, I don't think anyone really cares that I am reading the music. It doesn't matter. But That's what I do. And so this actually changes tempo. It's written at 140, but it's a lot faster in the video. So it's going to start at 152. And then I'm going to play up to here, 120. And then, so the way I could do a tempo change, I could like write out a click track, and I could do it in GarageBand or Reason or whatever. But that's kind of extra effort. I think what I'm going to do for this, I'm just going to cut the video at this point when we get to the tempo change, and then zoom in on the tenors so it looks like it's the same video, but it's actually a different one. And then play through this little Mary Had a Little Lamb tenor feature with the snare interjections, and then cut that video right here. And then there's another tempo. It's actually failed to mention in the sheet music, but it definitely speeds up. It's going to be 138 from there to the end, and I think this all actually repeats, so I don't think I need to have all these pages out. Yeah, it all repeats, except for there's the quad solo, but I have that memorized, so that's not that big a deal. And the only difference is the ending has a downbeat. God, so many pages. Why is this so many pages long? Yeah, the ending has a downbeat on 1. So I'll pretty much have to record this whole middle beefy section twice, just because the very last ending is different than the times it repeats. But in the actual video, I'll play through the beginning, this impact section, and then it'll be the first quad solo, then I'll go back, play it again, then the second quad solo, play it again, then it's the 2 quads together, play it again, then it's bass drum solo, and then play the ending, which, I mean, I could just remember that there's a downbeat here. So that's what I'm gonna do, and it shouldn't take that much effort. This is pretty easy. I should be able to nail these all in one take. And also, for a lot of my split screen videos, you will notice that I am not wearing headphones and you won't hear the metronome on. And that is because for some of like the harder features, I like to record the stuff and not do the video at the same time. Just do the audio first. And that's so I can really focus on getting a good sound and not worry about the video. But these are really easy parts, and I should be able to do both all at the same time, and it should be great. So with all that said, here we go. Let's do it. Okay, we are now in GarageBand, and this is all the stuff that I recorded. Let me get this set up better. All right, don't I look great? Like, look at those sound waves. Oh yeah, you like that? You like those waves? Let's get nice and close. Yeah, look at those curves. Oh yeah. So what we're doing in here is lining up all of the tracks that I just recorded. So we are going to start at the end and work our way back to the beginning. I like to do that because I know that the last take I did of each recording is the best one. Because sometimes I'll like mess up, or at least I think I messed up, because I'm pretty perfect a lot of the time, but I like to do it a few times. So usually the last one is the best one, so I like to just go backwards, so I hear that one first. So that's the bass 5 part. Pretty sure I nailed that in one try, at least I hope I did, so this should be bass 4. Let's delete this part. Alright, then this should be the bass 3. Yep. And we just do this for every single part until we get back to the beginning, which I'm pretty sure I did the snares first. What is going on in this? There's like all weird reverb. I don't want any of that crap. I just want the normal sounding. I don't want anything. None of that. None of that. None of that. I don't even know what this is. So I deleted something by accident, maybe, unless it's somewhere else. What if I drag this part over? No. Yeah, that's a symbol. Okay, we found it. thought it was gone forever. That was scary right there. Okay, good. Bass 1, bass 2, bass 3, and bass 4. All in a line. So now we're gonna clean this up. And what I mean by that is make sure it's all aligned, all in the correct spaces. So this one's the snare. I think the tenors start first. So we gotta zoom all the way in. So this one taps off, and then this guy comes in. We gotta make sure he's in time. Excuse me. So here's the tricky part, alright? We can line this first note up completely perfectly. Like, that looks pretty good right there. But then we don't know, like, maybe the first note I attacked a little bit early. Therefore, the rest of the notes are going to be early, which I think that's exactly what happened. Yeah, you can see all this crap is early compared to this one. So what we're going to do, let's just line up the second note. Okay. Because remember, I'm not listening to myself when I play this, I'm just listening to the click. So it's not going to be 100% perfect. It'll be like 99% perfect, because I'm really, really good. And then everything else looks pretty good. Alright, let's just see how this sounds. This might sound like garbage. So, be warned here. Dirty beats are a potential. Take it from the top. Ah! Okay, that was really good up until, like, right there. Even though the attack doesn't line up, I didn't notice that it sounded dirty. Yeah, it sounds fine. That's actually, that might be an experiment for a later video. How dirty is a clean drum line? Because technically, this is dirt. Like, look how offset these are. That's dirt. That's visual dirt. That's musical dirt also. Okay, so where did that get really bad? It was like right before all this crap started. Yeah, okay, let's do that. Let's clean the tenors up first, and then we'll add everything else in. Okay, everything's pretty good except these 16th notes right here. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna cut right there and right here. And let's go, let's dive in here and diagnose what's going on. So, alright, it looks like I was a little bit later in this second one. So we're gonna time shift it. Ah! What happened? Where'd it go? What happened? Where am I? We're gonna time shift it this way. Alright, that looks better. Now let's go a little more. No, let's go a little less. And let's see how this sounds now. It still sounds kind of bad. I think we went too much. Let's go back. Alright, that's pretty good. Cool. So I try to do that as little as possible, because then it's not really authentic, but we don't want to sound dirty. And also, at the same time, if you're trying to do this on your own, if you're, like, way off, like a 16th note or an 8th note, then that's going to be noticeable in the video. Like, the parts aren't going to look the same. So, you want to be, like, this is milliseconds off we're talking about, that make it just, like, a tiny bit dirty. Like, if it sounds like complete, absolute garbage, then, yeah, you probably need to redo it. Let's keep listening on in the tenor part for dirt. Four drums are kind of out of tune, but nothing we can do about that. Oh, that was a little bad. Alright, let's fix that. If I could do this in real life, that would be amazing. I would just clean everybody. Cut there. Let's move this over, and then it should sound beautiful. Oh, this note sounded like butt. Let's get that back to where it was. Cool, so we had to make two pretty small fixes in there. That's to prevent it from sounding dirty, because I don't like dirty drum lines, and I'm trying to be a clean drum line all by myself. So we have to digitally edit a few things here and there to make it work. So okay, let's add the snare drum in. Where does it start? I I forgot to like bring the sheet music over here. I can remember it though, I think. Okay. Okay, I think snare drum's a little bit ahead of where I have the tenors, so just slightly over. Alright, cool. So you can also probably tell that the snare is way quieter than the tenors, probably because there's two tenors. So what we're going to do is we're going to lower the tenor volume. Get that down. Let's try -2. And let's go a little low. And we can raise the snare up. Okay, that sounds a little bit more balanced to me. Good. Alright, now let's add the cymbals in. That comes in the same time the snares come in, I think. It's right on this note. Line this up with this, and let's see how it sounds. Wait, nope. We don't want to clap on 1 and 3 here, people. We're going to get that on beat 2. That's where that comes in. Beat 2. Alright, this sounds a little bit behind. To move it. Alright, that's a little bit ahead now. See, we gotta do these tiny adjustments a whole lot until it's just right. And that's obnoxiously loud, so we're gonna lower the cymbals. Cool. Sounds pretty good. Now let's get the bass drums in there. Start with bass 1. Can you see me? We good? Alright. Hope that wasn't jacked up that whole time. Alright, that sounds all well and dandy. Let's go to the next part. There's like a bunch of different sections in this, as I mentioned earlier. So that was the first one. And then we don't have to worry about connecting them. I'm going to do that later when I start editing the actual video. Right now we're just going to get the individual sections lined up. So what was next? I think it was there was like a tenor thing. That Mary Had a Little Lamb. Yeah, that's it right there. Once again, we're just lining up the first notes, and then we're going to check the rest of them. First note's good, second note looks late, third, everything looks late, so I guess the first note, I played it a little late. But it'll probably be okay. Let's try right there, let's see how it sounds. Oh, that sounds kind of bad. What's going on? Alright, this one is early. Let's try there, see what happens. That still sounds bad. Hold on. We're going to fix this. We're going to figure it out. Move it back a little. Alright. That sounds better. Let's try it from the top. I might have to adjust something in the beginning. Alright. That one note was really flammy. I think it was this one. Yeah, let's fix that one. Cut it right there. And there. And move it over a little. Oh. Looks like those three are all late. These isolated slow attack eighth note figures are actually a lot harder to play clean than it is to play like something difficult, because there's like a whole lot of room for error when you're just playing with the click. Okay, now we got the bass drum solo. These are always fun. So I did my absolute bestest trying to play these splits in time with the metronome. So let's see how good I actually did. So bass 2 taps off. Where's the end? Hold on. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and all right. So then bass 1 has to come in here. A little bit over. Okay. And then I think bass 3 goes right there. And then bass 4 goes in there. This looks good just looking at it, so let's see if it sounds as good as I think it looks. Hold on, I think bass 1 is coming in early on every single one of them. Let's move him over. Hold on, bass 3 was definitely late at that one. This is always pretty tough trying to figure this out here. Because I might have just been a little bit early or a little bit late on like one of them, but then I adjust the whole thing and it screws all the rest of them up. So we gotta play it a lot to see what happens. That sounded pretty good. That didn't. Okay, I think the first like bunch of stuff is pretty good. Bass 4 is late. Hold on. Move him over. There. Actually, now let's redo all that. Can't redo. Why not? What happened? I didn't do anything. Hold on. Ah! Bass 4 is ridiculously early. So I want to like yell at the guy, but the guy is me, so bad. I'm sorry. I'll fix it next time. We're really close here. We're really, really close. Okay. And I like how, yeah, GarageBand doesn't do ripple delete. Like, I know in Audacity when I used to do this in there, when you delete, like, a little section, that slides, like, the end, this whole end part. If I moved this, that would also go with it. So it would be impossible to know exactly where the end was. But GarageBand, it holds it in there, so that's pretty good that it does that. Okay, we just got this last phrase, which is the same exact thing as this phrase, except there's a downbeat, which makes it sound different and look different. So we got to line this whole thing up again just for the downbeat. Alright, good. So we got all the tracks lined up for the first cadence. We still got the other two over here that we got to line up. We'll save this for now and come back and do that other stuff. So like this part, just organizing and cleaning up the sound, sometimes this takes longer than actually doing the split screen, like the actual video, because, you know, I really want it to sound perfect as I possibly can get it to sound. And I'm pretty good at playing in time, but sometimes, you know, timing fluctuates a little bit because I'm not listening to anybody except the click. So I gotta do what I gotta do in order to make it sound great. And like I said, if you're doing this, we're talking like really small adjustments. Like if you're way off, then it's gonna look weird if it sounds clean and you can visually see like, okay, people are not hitting at the same time. So you have to be very, very, very close to hitting your drum together with yourself at the same time, at different times, lined up on top of each other to be at the same time.